The Ministries of Sustainable Development and Infrastructure have signed a Memorandum of Understanding that is designed to bring improvement to the delivery of services by the Water and Sewage Company, WASCO. The agreement sets the division of duties in the undertaking of repairs by WASCO. After numerous public complaints about the failure of WASCO to reinstate roads once repairs have been done, the authorities have agreed that Ministry of Infrastructure will be responsible for fixing the roads. Vincent Hippolyte is the general manager of WASCO.
And that there was one before, but as time passes by, you must always relook at what you did previously in order to make sure that it continues to be relevant for the circumstances that you face. And it is for that reason that we relooked it, we strengthened it, and we are hoping that it's going to deliver what we want. That's very important because you find that wherever the roads are, we are there too, WASCO water lines. Historically, the water lines have been beneath the roads and in the shoulders. So whenever things go wrong, we have no choice but to dig up the roads in order to be able to repair the water lines. If the thinking is that we should not have water lines beneath the roads, then that will take a very long time for us to actually change the infrastructure to respond to that particular requirement. So for now, we have an MOU. It would be our responsibility, meaning the Ministry of Infrastructure and WASCO, to operationalize that MOU. And I am sure the ministers are going to hold us responsible for making sure that it happens. We are determined, I think, we have that desire to do it better. There are challenges, of course, that we'll have to overcome. Some of them have to do with the availability of material and supplies when we need them to undertake the works. But we are mindful that the core competences when it comes to road reinstatement actually lies within the Ministry of Infrastructure and not WASCO.
Dr. James Fletcher says the memorandum will help WASCO achieve world-class level service. The perennial challenge for the utility company, he pointed out, has been getting the public to understand the challenges that lie beyond ensuring water flows through the taps.
We've all experienced at one time or the other the frustrations of seeing the Ministry of Infrastructure pave a road and then within days of the Ministry of Infrastructure restoring a road to pristine condition, WASCO digging up that road to attend to a problem, a very serious problem, but not reinstating that road in its original condition either immediately or even in the long run. When it does reinstate the road, you see the trenches, you see the unevenness of surface, and I think we've all at one point or the other muttered under our breath that the government seems to be working at cross purposes, that you have one arm of government doing something and the other arm of government completely undoing it. Now, very often that's not the fault of WASCO. If there's a fault in a line, then that line has to be repaired, and as the managing director stated, that line is beneath the surface of the road and that road has to be dug up. And but the problem is WASCO, again, as very eloquently stated by the managing director, is not a Ministry of Infrastructure. WASCO's core competence is not in the restoration of roads or the management of roads. That core competence lies with the Ministry of Infrastructure.
Minister Fletcher is also hoping that the agreement will result in WASCO being able to get a handle on the problem of non-generating water. Nearly 60% of the water produced by WASCO is not paid for.
Now, that is as a result of primarily leaks to the distribution network. It's also as a result of some theft of water that takes place. But the theft of water, we do not believe, is as significant as the leaks to the very aging infrastructure. For WASCO to attend to these leaks, it has to first of all find them, dig up the road, and repair those pipes. So there will be a lot of that will take place in the coming months as we try to bring our non-revenue water volumes down from 56% to something which is a lot more manageable, a lot more along industry standards of 30% or less. And that will require, again, very close collaboration of the Ministry of Infrastructure. There's other work that WASCO is doing, I know, in geolocating some of its infrastructure through a collaboration with the Ministry of, with the OECS Commission. One of the problems that WASCO has is, particularly in the Castries area, it cannot tell you where some of these pipes run because these pipes were laid such a long time ago, and the people who were involved in the laying of those pipes, some of them have passed. You don't have meticulous records of where those pipes passed. So very often, if there's work going on in the Ministry of Infrastructure or somewhere else, you could find that a WASCO pipe is damaged and we don't know about it. So we have to ensure that we GPS, we geolocate all of those pipes so that henceforth we can do better planning.
Infrastructure Minister Philip J. Pierre, for his part, is relieved that communities will no longer experience disruption in the comfort of road use.
We paved the Pave Road in brilliant Barber Green. WASCO has put in 4 holes in there. And the residents of Pave, they are up in arms about their road. So it really is, what we're doing this morning here is really more than necessary. We have to find a way for these things not to happen. And the only way for them not to happen is if we have an organized process where these things should not happen or will not happen. And I'm glad that, as the Honorable Fletcher says, each agency of government has to get involved in its core competency. Too many times you have people doing, so WASCO's job is to get water at a reasonable rate, and the Ministry of Infrastructure's job is to fix the roads in St. Lucia. Basically, that's what you ought to do. And if both of us can do it at its best, then both the water will be good and the roads will be okay. So I think this MOU is extremely important.